But everybody in this group does something. If you show up, you go up. And I've asked MaryAlice. Now, let me tell you a little bit about MaryAlice. I love me some MaryAlice. I met her almost 10 years ago at when I worked for Justin, and she was an amazing, amazing customer. Guys, you know how hard it is to sit there and say, and you know what goes through your head, I'm going to ask this person, but she spends so much. Do I want to lose this PRV? Like, I asked her because I felt like obligated. MaryAlice was purchasing so many items that at one point, almost my entire month's PRV was MaryAlice. Christmas was the bomb. The month I had $4,500 in sales. I'm not going to tell you how much MaryAlice bought, but oh my goodness. So MaryAlice is one of my year-long stories because I've only been in for 2 years. And MaryAlice told me no every single month. Every month. This woman told me that she just wanted to support me. She did not want to join Scentsy. She did not have time. And she was like, whatever. I don't care. I don't want no money from you. I just want to help you. And I'm like, yay. But every time she placed these large orders, consistently, she told me no, consistently. So when they say 2 or 3 times, this woman denied me for a whole year, and she didn't see what I saw. And I was like, MaryAlice, you're so organized. You're a hard worker. You can do this. And I will tell you what, MaryAlice has been amazing. The first maybe week of May, or the first week that she started, she's kind of like, I'm just doing this for my check payment. I just want to fix this check. And that's all. I don't expect me to do anything. I'm not doing anything. And then she goes, what? I can earn what? Wait, I can do what? Hold on. How much money is there? What do I need to do? Hold on. Give me the training. And this woman has surpassed any expectations I've ever had of her. She has a huge heart. She works the hardest that I've ever seen anybody work. I thought I worked hard. This woman blows me away. And she'll call me at 1:00 in the morning and be like, oh my gosh, I got a question. And I'm like, yes, ma'am, what you got? And we will work through something for an hour and a half. Blake will roll over and say, can you go in the other room? I'm like, okay, I'm so sorry. He goes, y'all are not quiet. I'm like, I'm so sorry. So without much further ado, here is MaryAlice. So
you're crazy and I love you.
I love you
too. And she is right. I told her no for a year. And I was serious. I did not have the time because the one thing that's very important to me is that when I get involved in anything that I do, I like to give it 110%. I'm not a half-asser. I just don't like to do anything half-ass. So if I feel I don't have time for something, I won't do it, which is very few and far between for me to say no to something. So telling Cassie no every month was hard, but I was really doing it just to support her. I have always loved Scentsy products, so I've always bought them. But when Cassie became a sponsor or a rep, I just started buying them even more often. And yeah, I did buy a lot of it. Everybody I know received Scentsy for all kinds of gifts. But with all that being said, what I came on to talk about was events. So my situation is I can't get out and meet people the way everybody else can, or I say everybody else. I'm sure that there are a lot of people that are in my same situation. My situation is I stay home to take care of my mom. That is one of the main reasons that I started doing Scentsy as a full-time job, because my job ended because of COVID. Our company shut down, so I got laid off. And right at the time that I got laid off, my mom started requiring 24/7 care. So that meant I needed to be home. So I was very fortunate that I had already started and agreed with Cassie to become a consultant. So then it kicked into gear that okay, I need to make this a business. This is not just like a side hustle anymore, because that's what I intended to do. just a side hustle, earn a couple $100, money towards my truck. That was my project truck. And yeah, that lasted a very short time. And, but so I don't have the opportunity to meet a lot of people because I don't get to leave and go out. I'm not out there in the workforce anymore, so I'm not around all new people or, some people on a regular basis. The places I go, grocery store and doctor's offices. I'm in doctor's visits a lot and hospitals. And believe me, these people do hear about Scentsy. If I'm at a doctor's office, they know I sell Scentsy. If I'm at the grocery store, if you're in front of me or behind me, you're going to know about Scentsy. I do take advantage of every moment. But if you're trying to build your business, that's not enough. When you don't get out like everybody else has an opportunity to, that's not enough. So I wanted to find something that could bring me new customers in large quantities. And for me, that's events. I do events not for the sales. Sales are a plus. If I make sales, that's awesome. That's great. But my main goal is to do events for contacts. Every event that I do a drawing box. And it may be anything as far, I've done baskets that I put together. I've done a $40, you get to pick what you want. I've done, just a small deal that just had, maybe 2 or 3 waxes in it. It doesn't matter. People see that box and you tell them that they're going to be in a drawing, they want in on it. It's an automatic attraction for people. They see that purple box and it says enter here and it attracts them. On that slip, I have their name, their phone number, their email. Would they like to purchase Scentsy? Are they interested in having a party? And have they ever considered being a consultant? So if they check any of those, and even if they don't check any, I contact them afterwards. If they don't win in the drawing, I contact them and say, hey, this is Mary. You came to my Scentsy booth, and I just wanted to let you know that we did do the drawing. I'm sorry to say you didn't win, but I would love to tell you about whatever we have coming up. So every person that comes to my booth is an opportunity for me to have a new customer. Every single person. So that's how I get my customers. That's how I build my customers. Yes, I've had some events that, man, I have made some sales, some serious sales. I've had some events that I've made as high as $700 in one sale. And that's all straight cash in my pocket. Why? Because I have a bunch of inventory that I received from rewards from parties, from my online parties that are just out there. Always keep an online party open. If they don't belong to any party, they're going to buy from somewhere. So they'll click on it, and you can put on there, if you don't belong to a party, click here, or just put May online party, or just May online orders. But always have an open one for your online parties or online orders. This is how you get your free rewards for yourself, and you build up your stock for events. All of my stock is free. I have earned it free. So when I sell it, that is straight cash in my pocket. So those are just bonuses. Now, how do I find the events? There's multiple ways. Our small city has a Facebook page, which is called Bay City Chat. So I'm sure that your city or your town probably has a Facebook page. I watch that Facebook page regularly, every day. Why? Just today, this morning when I got up, somebody had tagged me on Facebook chat that they're having an event on the 19th. And guess what, guys? It's a free event. A free event, right? So I don't even have to pay for this. So you have to watch these things. If your town doesn't have a chat or a Facebook page, go to Texas events or whatever state you're in. Texas has a page, texasevents.com. and it'll tell you a lot of the events that are going on every month in Texas, all over Texas. So there's all kinds of places to find events. Now, not all of the events are on that website, but there's some of them. So there's a lot of events that I have found that are not on that website. Once you start doing these events, you grow a relationship with other vendors. Make sure you build a relationship with these vendors. And why is that important? Because when they find out about an event, they contact you. Just like when you find out about an event, you let them know. Those that you become close with, this one that I just found out about, I forwarded it to 4 of my vendors that I know that keep me in the loop about vendors that are going on around the area. So if you keep in touch with all of those vendors, if you become friends with them, make them part of your family, they will keep you informed about all kinds of events going on around you. So that's how to find your events, why I do them, what I take to them. For me, it depends on each event. If it's a small event that's only going to be a couple of hours, I don't take everything I have. Most importantly, I take wax if I have wax. I always take the drawing box, and I might put together a couple of bundles for if it's a holiday like Easter. I put together a couple of bundles, Easter baskets with body stuff in it, Easter eggs with the kids buddies in it, and those sold like crazy. And I had a few of them that didn't sell, but guess what? That's stuff that I have for next year come that time. I can put them in. The buddies, all my product I can still use for other things, but the items that I purchased to make those baskets or bundles, I can use it at another time. So it's not wasted money. I don't spend a lot on making bundles or making baskets. I pick it up when it's either half price after after the events, the holidays over. So I've always done crafts though. So I have stuff from years that I've accumulated that I have. So most of my stuff, I don't even have to buy. You don't have to do that. You could just put it in those clear bags that we have. And as long as they can see the product, wrap it up in a pretty little bow. Hey, you'd be surprised how quick that will sell. What else do I take? Small events, I don't take warmers because it takes time to unload warmers, take them out of the box, make them pretty, because I'm very meticulous of how I like things set up. And so I like everything to be able to be seen. And so it takes me a lot of time to set up. So small events that are going to be short in time, I don't do a whole lot of warmers. I do wax, I'll do room sprays, I'll do the Scentsy, the circles, I do everything for your car, the bars, the scent packs. Man, the mini fans sell like crazy. I can sell me some mini fans. I'm trying to think of what else. I also have a list of everything that I do have on hand. So if somebody says that, hey, they're looking for something, I say, well, here, I have these things. I don't have them here, but I have them at home and I can get them to you. So a lot of times they'll still buy it. So you don't have to take everything. You can have a list, or you can tell them, no, I don't have it on hand, but I can get it for you. I can order it and I can have it shipped directly to you. So, if you're looking for those sales, those are things to do. Now, big events that I attend that are 2 or 3 days, yes, I've posted pictures, you've seen it. I take everything. I have my buddies, I have my waxes, I have my warmers, I have my diffusers. My diffusers are like crazy at these events because I set one up in one corner and then I have all my warmers everywhere else. And they're lit, but they're not burning any wax. I have one that will burn wax, and you want it to warm the wax because you want to attract people by your smell, because that's something that we're big on, the fragrance. I've had many people that come to my booth because it's like, oh my God, it smells so good over here. And that's right there. You drew them right in. It also helps to have somebody like Chad who will go and grab them and drag them into your booth. And yes, he does do that. He embarrasses me sometimes, but he will bring me the customers. Kicking and screaming, but he brings them. But so big events, 3 and 4 day events, yes, I take everything. Now those events, I always make sure that it's indoors and I'm able to lock my room where all my stuff is, because I don't want to have to be setting up and tearing down, setting up and tearing down every day. So it has to be in a room that I'm able to close and lock, and I'm the only person that has that key to get in. So I think that's everything. I probably covered way more than what y'all needed. But if does anybody have any questions?
What was the website again?
The texasevents.com.
Is Texas spelled out or is it TX?
Hang on, let me see. I have it in my Yelp. Oh, I didn't. I closed it up.
Well, you can.
I think it's spelled out.
Okay.
I think it'll say like Texas Events Calendar. The 2022 calendar, and it'll show you like festivals, all kinds of things going on. And there's a lot of other websites. I don't have them in front of me right now, but I can get them to you, and I can post them if y'all want me to. I rely more on word of mouth. I rely a lot on word of mouth and on basically on my city's Facebook page, mostly because I do all of my events local, because I don't travel for mine. That is one thing I can't do. I just can't get up and leave for a couple of days. It's not that easy for me.
Hey,
So
MaryAlice, how big is Bay City?
Bay City is very small. Gosh, I don't even know how many people we have. It's not big. It's we have a Walmart. We don't have a mall. We have a Whataburger, and we don't have a Kentucky Fried Chicken anymore. They closed down. It's not big. It's not as small as it used to be 30 years ago. It has grown, but it's not very big. But Bay City is real big on having a lot of socials around the square. At least once a month, my small town has some kind of event around the square. So, and I bet if you look at in your town, there's a lot going on that you don't even know about. There was things that I had no clue about. One of the first buddy drives that I did was for a crisis center that I have lived and grown up here my entire life. And I did not know we had a crisis center in this town. So when I found out about it, I did a fundraiser. I did a buddy drive for the crisis center, and it turned out really good. But so you'd be surprised how much is in your town that you don't know about. Because if you're not out there, and like me, my kids are all gone, scattered all over the United States. So I'm not involved in the schools anymore. I'm not involved in the baseball teams anymore, or baseball organizations, basketball, all of that. I don't do any of that anymore. So I was surprised at how much was out there that I did not know about anymore. So check into it. Check into your town Facebook, because most cities, most towns have a Facebook page, and they will post everything on there.
Lisa, did you have a question?
When you do outside stuff, how do you, because you said you rely a lot on like the smell, and of course that's how most people get attracted to stuff, but when you are outside,
Your Scentsy Go.
okay,
If you do not have access to a plug or electricity, use your Scentsy Go, because that charge it up. Make sure you have it charged up. And if it runs down, because most of the times when you're at something like that, it's going to be just for a few hours. So I have had Chad run to my truck and recharge it a couple of times before, because it was like, okay, it's about to go dead. Go recharge it real quick. So
Now, on your Scentsy Goes, you can also change it to eco mode, and it should go for 18 hours.
Yeah.
So if you
Most
have,
of the times I don't have to do that. I think one time I forgot to charge it before the event. So I was like, hurry, go charge it, but your Scentsy Go, you'd be surprised how much that attracts people. And
Okay.
So, were you able to charge that with a battery pack like you do with your cell phone? Or have
yes,
you even tried?
I haven't needed to, but yes, you can, because it plugs in just like your phone does to a USB. And your battery pack has the USB connection.
yeah, and it will work while it's being charged. So if you do have a
Yes.
battery pack, I have one of those, I don't even know where it's at. I think it's in my events bag, but it's a big square that has like 5 different types of plugs. So
Mhm.
that way, if someone had an iPhone, there's a plug that can go into it. And then we have it to where opposite end, it has a USB. So that way, if I was plugging something into it to charge it, so if I didn't have my charger, I could use other people's chargers. And so then you have the USB and you can put whatever you want on it.
Now, an event that I have coming up on the 29th, it's an outdoor event, and it's going to be for two or 3 days. So, but we have no electricity there. But they did tell us that if we had small generators, that we could bring them. So guess who will be bringing a small generator?
And and that's one thing to ask.
ask.
That's definitely one thing to ask. Any event that you go to, is there an option for electricity?
That's something I always ask, yes.
Yeah. And you never want to exceed a certain amount of money. Mary and Alice were talking. When the events came up to me, they had to be under $40. Because for me starting out, I don't want to spend $40, spend 12 hours there, and I'm out, like some of the places that were asking me, because they're like, oh, hey, I have a Scentsy girl. And they would tell me it's 125, 175 for an 8x8 booth for 4 hours. And I'm like,
Yeah. No.
Unless you can promise and guarantee 10,000 people are coming through there, I'm not going to do it. And you should ask the coordinators how many people they expect, because if they're not doing their advertisings, they're not doing their due diligence, you will not have a good event.
Okay.
And that's one thing to think about.
Even then, if they say that they're going to guarantee you 10,000 people and you're only there for 4 hours, do you really think that you're going to be able to handle talking to 10,000 people in 4 hours? No, you're going to be swamped in that time period. And another thing, make sure that you know how much space you have, where you're setting up, and how close you're going to be to everybody else. I went to an event that I will never, ever do again. They held it in a hotel. And I thought, hey, this is great, right? So they put everybody in these rooms. They had them in multiple rooms. They had them like in the lobby. They had them in the event room. That's all great. But in our rooms, they had 6 vendors in a room where your tables were set up like this in the room, and there was barely enough room to walk through. And you were in maybe a 5x5 spot. So guess what? Even though it was only $25, I will never, ever do that again. One, I'm slightly claustrophobic. So you put me in a space like that and Mary's going to go berserk. I was just like, there was times where I told Chad, it's like, okay, you're going to have to watch my stamp. I got to go outside. I need air. I can't breathe. It's like, they're breathing on me. It's too close, so make sure you ask how much space you're going to have, how close people are going to be to you. Are y'all going to be cluttered and crowded, or are you going to have space? Even if you have a 10x10, is that person going to be right on top of you? That they're, some of their stuff may come over into your area. And, so make sure you have some space, ask some questions. Do you have electricity? How much space? How many vendors are you expecting? A lot of these that I do, not only do they promote it, but they give us flyers, all the vendors, and they have the vendors send out those flyers all over their Facebooks and stuff. So they tell them, hey, here, share this with all your people. So always ask them, do y'all have some type of flyer, anything that I can promote this event on? And then you send it out to everybody you know. And I can't think of anything else. But yeah, I don't spend any more than $40 for my events. I have passed up several events I passed up one here just a couple of weekends ago that was $70. I was not paying $70 to sit outside for 4 hours in the wind, because it was blowing like crazy, and have to chase down all my product, because you're chasing down stuff. So no, I'm not paying $70 for that. I ain't doing it. So yeah, I passed up events because I'm not going to spend that kind of money. I don't spend more than 40. And even on a 3 and 4 day events, the most I've spent is $40. So.
And for anybody who's in a small town and they don't have like a community, kind of like how Bay City does, most of them do, because they want people to be interactive in their community. You can check your surrounding areas. You need to make sure that you set in your mind, how far are you willing to drive? Because there are many Scentsy consultants that do events, large events, that will drive a day to go to an event because they know that it's like the state fair. I mean, like something like that, when you get big enough to be in something like that, and most of the time you have to know somebody who's doing it and they stop doing it for you to get that spot. But people will do it.
Or a lot of times you have to partner in with another consultant, because like if you were to try to do the rodeo lasts 2 weeks. So, and in our compliance deals, you can only do so many days of an event. So what you do is you team up with another consultant, and they do like 4 days and you do 4 days. So y'all both pay for the space, and y'all decide which half or what days y'all, take turns doing. That's something else, you can do.
And it's also said in compliance, they changed it when they updated the compliance in 2021 about how far you're allowed to drive. So I know I said that those are willing to drive a day, but there is now a ratio that you can only drive so far to an event.
Wow, really?
Yes. So yeah, you need to look it up or ask compliance whenever you have like questions. But I believe it said 75 miles.
Yeah, see, I don't drive
25 or 100, something like that. But it's the only reason I found out about that is because Joanna, one of the girls on my team, she found a place that was down south that she was going to go because they did a weekly or a monthly event, and it was a 2-day. It was new. They were bringing in vendors every time, and they wanted a contract. Well, since on Scentsy, you can't do something that's every day. You have to have 45 days in between the same location. That she was going to do 1 month, I was going to do another month, she was going to do 1 month. But whenever she called into Scentsy to verify that we could do that, just to make sure we were in compliance, they said it was too far away for us, because it was a 2-hour drive, because we were going to leave our stuff there. So what we were basically doing is I'm taking half of mine, I'm taking half of hers, and then we were splitting whatever we sold. So that way, like half my stuff was there, and it was going to be locked up in between that time. So that means that stuff I had to be able to take down and stay there for a month that without it being used. So that was another thing I was kind of weary on, but we could have left our shelves there, our tables, we could have had everything set up, and then all we're doing is just bringing back product every time. So, all right. Did anybody else have any more questions about events before we get on to lie, steal, cheat, and kill your way to the top?
I have a question.
Yeah.
So when you're starting out doing events and you don't have a lot of product on hand, I guess, what's the best way to do? Because I never sell any of my own. Like I cannot get rid of, I guess that's a bad word, not get rid of. I have a hard time selling anything because all of my sales are in Dallas, Fort Worth. I have like none local to me. I did finally get like 2 people in Abilene. And I just moved, and now I know nobody except for 2. I've already made friends with 2 really old people here. So, hey, I've got 90-year-old friends here, but
there is 2 videos that I will find. You don't need anything other than testers and your smile.
That's it.
Okay. One of them says that they do home parties and they do events in 1 bag. They take 1 bag of stuff. They will take 1 warmer, that even if they don't have to plug it in, they will take like another item of some sort, and they will take their testers, and they have all their testers out. That way people can smell, they can look at them. They have catalogs, they have because the events, like MaryAlice said, is for contacts. And if you do have access to the internet or you have access to electricity, then turn one of them on, or make sure that you have a laptop set up. And that way, if people are wanting to place an order, you can help them. And now that they can connect with you, and now you have their information.
The only thing I will say on that, yeah, you don't have to have product, because my very first event, I didn't have a lot of product. I mean, I had just started out. I didn't have a lot yet. So like Cassie said, your testers, if you do have access to plugs and electricity, take your personal warmers, because Jess, I'm sure you have at least 3. Okay, I know I have like
A lot more than 3.
right. So yeah, so you've got
3. Who only has 3 warmers?
yeah, you don't have, and they don't even have to be something that is available right now. They just need to see what they look like, see how they work, and smell what we have. And if you have all your testers, they can smell, everything. But the thing I will say is make sure that you have your contact information available. So business cards, flyers about joining your VIP page. I made a small postcard size card that I handed out to everybody that came to my booth, is join my Facebook page, join my Facebook page. Yeah, that's why Cassie says she always knows when I do an event.
I can
Because
tell when she does an event because I'm an admin on her page, and I seriously will start getting all these dings. I'm like, someone wants to be part of your group. And I'm like, oh, and then I go in there, I'm like, but they're not here. And I have to go, I'm like, dang it, MaryAlice is joining the event. And so I have to go on there. And so I leave them because of course it's her group. I'm just there to assist. So I leave them so she can see the contact information of knowing who's new. And
yeah, so the thing is remember that your events, I mean, unless you're wanting to do sales, I mean, if you're wanting to do sales, and by God, go after it and make the sales. But remember that for me, and like you, that you're wanting contacts, remember that those events are for contacts. So do everything you can to get your name and your information into their hand. Everything, do your the product, what are they called, Cass?
the product sheet.
Yeah, your product sheets. Fold that up, staple your business card on it, hand them out.
I just got quite a bit of those.
So what you do is on those is that you do the little felt samples of whatever wax you have. It doesn't matter if it's current or not. And you have the little baggie and you staple it with your business card. So they're getting a little sample. You're not having to do a whole bunch. If it melts, it doesn't matter. It's felt, it'll absorb back into that little bag. You talk to everybody, and you have to have that mindset of your intention is to have conversations.
Yes.
And even if you're bombarded and people are like, rah, 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 you have your stuff spread out on the table, you don't have to have product. And Jen Audette was the one who, she does a party and events in one bag.
Yeah.
So Jen Audette, Jen Audette, I can't remember how to spell her last name, Jen Audette. But she's the one, she's got I believe she has a YouTube channel. She's one of the SSDs that is on Thursday night shift.
Audette.
Audette.
Audeette.
There you go. Audette.
And there are several videos out there on YouTube about doing events with no product. That was something that I looked up when I first started thinking about doing events. I looked that up because I didn't have a lot of product. So I looked at a lot of different videos, and I got ideas from everybody, because your style or your way of thinking may not be like theirs. So don't just look at one person, because what may work for them may not be, what's working in your head or what's going to work for you.
And there's also a Facebook group that is for Scentsy events. And people will show their setups, their pictures. They'll say how long the events are. You can ask questions in there. I mean, your best bet is to just do some research and do some training, like just look through videos, look through the pages, and find what you feel is comfortable for you. Because I'm not setting up 9 tables and having tiered tops of warmers up there. I'm not doing it because first, my vehicle is not very large. Second, I'm normally doing it by myself. I am not setting up and breaking down 80 some odd warmers. But there are tips and tricks. I can tell you how to do buddies and how to do your warmers, so that way you're not having so much of setup and breakdown time. Because I'll tell you what, buddies, take them out of the freaking box and break those boxes flat, because it takes up so much space for those buddies, and those buddies are squishable. I have them in totes. I personally have them in totes right now. And then my dad made me a buddy tree. It's so awesome. It's PVC pipe, and that's it. Like, it just screws together. And then I have a zip ties that goes around their neck. And that way, and he's got hooks. Well, they're not tight. They're not like going, except for there's two buddies that you can't do that with, because their heads make it really does look weird. So I had to do an arm.
So you're gonna have to show us more information, because I made one, but mine falls.
Okay, well, your base, just like me, your base has got to be wider than your top. It's got to have a
Well, I
firm
made it
foundation.
just like it had the,
Okay.
yeah.
I will get
That's
it out.
another.
Okay, yeah, we'll talk about that later. Okay, I'm gonna try to. Ooh, I only got 40 minutes. I can do this. All right. All right, you guys, shake it out. Do anybody need to take a potty break? Because I had to do it before, and I got 2 things of water. This is how good this is. I'm telling you. I hope you guys are excited, because I'm so excited, and I'm trying to find my mouse. There's my mouse. Okay, so I know that you guys are probably thinking this is crazy. Why is Cassie going to teach about lying, cheating, stealing, and killing? Like, what is that about? Well, guys, there are ways to get you to the top. And I'm not talking about stealing items or stealing customers or stealing things. We need to lie. So we're going to start with lie first. Okay. So lying. Why would we lie? Well, guys, we need to lie to get where we need to go. And how we do that is changing our mindset. You need to lie to that little inner voice in your head whenever they tell you you're not worth it. You need to lie to yourself and say, I'm good enough. Because if you keep having that little voice in your head continually telling you things, you need to lie to yourself and tell you how important you are until you believe it. We need to lie about that we can do things. You tell people in your VIP that you are the best consultant. It doesn't matter if you are or you're not. They're not going to compare you. They're not going to be like, hold on, I'm sitting over here looking and you're not that good. No, you're going to tell them that you're the best consultant, and you're going to take care of them the best. You're going to tell them that you are going to do all the things. And what are all the things? You are going to be amazing at Instagram. You're going to be amazing at TikTok. You are going to be amazing at Reels, and you're going to learn. You're going to lie to yourself, and you're going to say that, you know what? I'm going to be the best consultant ever. And you're going to work on it. We are going to lie to ourselves and get us out of where we're at. Guys, the people we are right now is not who we're going to be. We need to project of who we are going to be. Like, I'm going to be an SSD, and I'm going to be on the stage at SFR. Sorry. I am going to be teaching one of these breakout classes at SFR. Did I do that? Am I doing it right now? No, but I'm going to be there. And I'm going to tell everybody that. Is it like, do I have a contract to go? Do they pay for me to go to SFR? No, but I'm going to be there. I'm going to lie to myself and just tell myself I'm going to be there. And that's where I'm going to push myself to. You don't have to know all the things, and the customers aren't going to know if you don't know all the things. So yes, we're going to lie to our customers, because they're going to say, hey, do you love that scent? And you're like, it smells exactly like this, and it sounds amazing. I didn't say, I said it was the best. It sounds amazing. It doesn't have to smell good to you. Okay. Now, we are going to lie to our customers, and we are going to say that we are about to have the best year ever. We are going to grow this group. We are going to grow this team. We are going to the top. We're going to lie to ourselves, and we're going to lie to people, because we are projecting who we're going to be. Okay. It's not going to happen right now. But you know what? I'm going to tell myself it's happening. I'm going to tell myself I'm in that spot. I'm going to tell myself that that's where we're going. I'm going to lie to all of my customers and say, I only have one of these left. You need to tell me now. I'm going to lie to my customers and say that this is the best deal ever. You need to get on the train right now and get the Scentsy Club. I'm going to lie to these customers and I'm going to tell them all these things because I know I'm going to sell out of everything. I know I'm going to have so much Scentsy Club. I'm not even going to know what to do with all my, like all this happy mail. I'm going to have to like hire 5 people just to help me do my Scentsy Club happy mail. I'm going to lie to everybody. Okay. Oh, where am I at? Oh my gosh. But we are going to lie until it becomes a reality. We are going to lie to ourselves until it becomes a reality. And then we're going to become a cheater. Oh, guys, we are going to become a cheater. And why are we going to cheat? I'm going to cheat on every single person who told me I couldn't do it. I'm going to cheat on every single friend that doesn't want to support my business. I'm going to cheat on them. I'm not going to be with them. I'm going to find the people and I'm going to be with the people that believe in me. I'm going to be with those other people that do think I'm amazing. I'm going to cheat on all the lies I've told myself. I'm going to cheat on that other person I was yesterday because I don't want to be that person. I'm leaving that person. Okay. I'm finding my new self and I'm cheating on myself of who I was yesterday. I am not going to believe the people that said, I'm going to cheat on them. I'm done. I'm done. I'm cheating on that relationship of that person who they thought I was going to be because they don't know. They don't know how amazing I'm going to be. We're going to cheat on them. We're going to cheat on ourselves from who we were yesterday. And then what we're going to do? We're going to steal. You know what? We're going to steal. Are you ready to steal? Because what we're stealing on? We're stealing the ideas of other people. We are stealing their systems that they've already created. Guys, there's no reason to recreate the wheel. Steal a post. Steal an idea. Steal the energy. Guys, steal some energy from me. Okay? Steal the energy. Find that. Steal it. Steal the passion that you don't have yet. Steal it and create something that is for your future self. If you don't start acting like you're an SSD, if you don't start acting like you're a star director, if you don't start acting like a director, you don't start acting like a superstar consultant or a star consultant or a lead consultant, you're never going to be there. Start acting like what you are today. We're going to steal that dream. We're going to steal the dream and we're going to create the reality we want. We're going to steal the happiness of who we're going to be and we're going to take it now. We're going to steal all that knowledge that you can find on Facebook, TikTok, Google, Instagram. We're gonna steal the energy from the people who are going live on Instagram TV. We're gonna steal the energy and the knowledge that they have on YouTube videos. We're gonna steal the knowledge and the inspiration, and we're gonna give it to our teams. We don't create new ideas all the time, and that's okay. But there's so many ideas out there. And what you do is you steal that idea and you make it yours and you build on it. And then after that, what are we going to do? We're going to kill it. We are going on a killing spree, guys. And you know why we're going to kill it? Because we're killing off the ideas that don't work. We're killing off our past. We are killing that part of us that's holding us back. We are killing that little inner person in our head that tells us we're not worth it. Guys, you wouldn't let someone walk into your house and talk to your children, your spouse, your family, the way that we talk to ourselves. We are killing off that person. We're getting rid of them. They are gone. They are done. We're killing off the bad thoughts. We're killing off the bad relationship that told us that we were never going to amount to anything. We're killing that off. And you're killing off the whole memories of like, oh, I was a bad cook. Well, guess what? If you want to become a better cook, we steal the idea and we're going to find new ways to cook. Maybe we couldn't cook back then. Maybe we're going to cook now. Maybe we couldn't talk to people. Well, we're going to talk now. We are killing off the ideas of our past defines us. We're killing off the ideas that you are not worth it. So when we get to the point that we can lie, we can steal, we can cheat, and we can kill, when we get those into our head of what we want to accomplish, we will get there. I've said this many times, and I said it earlier, the people that show up grow up. The people that are consistent in anything will do better. When we say practice, it doesn't mean it makes perfect, it makes improvements. Every time that you practice talking to a customer, every time that you practice getting in front of the camera, every time that you practice using your wax or changing out the wax or finding tips and tricks and using the tips and tricks, you're going to get better at it. You're going to get better at explaining it. You don't need to know all the things. You don't need to know anything to get in front of a camera. You don't need to know everything that's going on when you go live on your regular Facebook or in a reel or on Instagram or TikTok, or you're showing your products. You don't have to know everything about everything. You just have to have that drive. You just have to have that, I'm going to do this. This is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to kill off those thoughts of yesterday that I couldn't do it. You're going to stop thinking that you can't do something. Guys, if you can or you can't, you're correct. So let's change the thoughts. Let's change our attitudes, our motivation, our movements. Change what you're doing. If you don't like where you're at, let's change it. When I started 2 years ago, and hey, there's like 4 or 5 of us in my group that now have a anniversary in May. One is MaryAlice. I'm 2 years in May. She'll be 1 year this year. I'm telling you, where I was at 2 years ago is not where I'm at now. And I made a choice when I started this that I was going to do everything. And I tried doing everything. I mean, like I ran myself ragged trying to do all the things. But I started to implement one thing at a time. I started to slowly go into that part that I'm going to do one thing and I'm going to do the best that I can do because I'm the best consultant. I'm the best leader. I'm the best. I'm the best. I'm the best. And it doesn't mean that you aren't the best. I've lied to myself to tell myself that I'm the best. I've stolen ideas. I've cheated that person that was there yesterday. I'm killing off the bad mojo, the bad everything that was in my life. I am getting rid of all those things and I'm looking to the future. I'm looking to where whenever I get paid from Scentsy, I'm sitting there with a $20,000 check, a $100,000 check. Guys, I see it. I believe it. We talked about dream boards. We've talked about having that vision. If you don't have a vision in your business, you need to stop and decide. How are we going to lie our way to the top? How are we going to cheat our way to the top? How are we going to steal and kill our way to the top? That, I know it sounds horrible if someone walks in the room and we're going to kill everything, but we've got to take that step forward. We've got to get out of that comfort zone. We've got to stop thinking that we are pigeonholed to what we were told. Guys, you do not have to be the prettiest person in the world. You do not have to be the best public speaker. You do not need to be knowledgeable or book savvy to do this job. You've got to have heart. You've got to have passion. You've got to have a drive. That you can't buy. That you can learn. You don't have to have it right now, but you've got to find it. You've got to look for it. You've got to search for it. Because the only way that you're going to get to the top is to start believing in yourself that you can do this. No matter what, if you decide right now, you know what, I'm going to do 5 events next month. And if that was your sole purpose, I bet you money that if you look, you'll find 5 events. If you said that you are going to go and you're going to get 10 new people into your VIP and into Scentsy Club, and that was your goal, and you did that, I can bet you money that you can do it. If you decided that I'm building my team and I'm going to have 50 new people in the next year join my team, I know you can do it. Do you know why? Because I believe in every single one of you. I know that you can do it. I have self-doubt every single day. I have that little voice that tells me, and you know what? I stop and I say, you know what? I am good enough. I'm worth this. I can do this. And there's not going to be anybody who tells me I can't. I still have to justify the things that I do and the things that I do for myself. And I have to justify so much things in my head because I'm like, I can't do that. What happens if it's gone? What do you mean? And then I have to stop. What do you mean it's going to be gone? I'm never going to stop doing Scentsy. I'm never going to stop driving to be the best. I'm never going to stop learning and like figuring out the things I can't figure out. I'm never going to stop. It's hard to stop and say that you're good enough when you've never been told that. It's hard to think that you are doing the right thing for yourself and be selfish when you've always been told that you have to do something for someone else. Make a choice, kill off those thoughts, cheat on the person who's telling you that you can't do this. And when someone tells you go get a real job, say, you know what? I worked my butt off. This is my real job. My mom keeps saying, well, you know what? You know, you can make more money at the other thing. I'm like, oh, do you realize how much money I make making Scentsy? Like, do you even understand when I tell you how much my paycheck is? I said, you see me working a lot. I said, but I'm building a business. I'm building an empire for my children. I'm building a legacy to leave for my kids. It doesn't just, I don't start making $100,000 the first day I start. You have to build a foundation. Every company was built small. It started with one person, one idea. Scentsy has a whole plan and a whole structure, a whole program of how to build a legacy. And when we choose to implement the small things, those small things start bigging to medium-sized things. And those medium-sized things start building to big things. And then the big things lead to even larger things. But we got to do all the little things. But we got to make sure we're not in our own way. We got to stop stopping ourselves from doing those ideas, doing those things. Like if you ever, you know, it's even if it wasn't Scentsy, I always wanted to learn how to wear makeup. I live with 3 brothers. My mom wears like powder, mascara, and sometimes lipstick. I didn't have anybody teach me. I seriously sat there and watched YouTube videos for 2 straight days to learn how to wear makeup. Because no one taught me. I don't know. I mean, guys, I like seriously, I play around with it. I don't know what makeup's supposed to be good. I don't know which way it's supposed to go on. I don't know if you're supposed to moisturize and then do the primer and then do the foundation or the concealer. Which one goes first? Is the mascara go on last? You put eyeshadow on before you put your foundation because some people do their eyes and then put foundation. Like, I don't know. I just lucky if I don't even wipe it off. I like let it wear off some day, and sometimes I wash it in the shower. And like moisturizer, I only do it when I get out of the shower because I've exfoliated because it's probably like 5 days worth of I don't know. But I wanted to learn. And the whole thing about Scentsy is that it doesn't matter if you're good at doing something, people just want to be seen. And they want to learn. And you may say, I don't have any information for anybody. If you've been in for 1 day, you have 1 day's worth of knowledge for someone who has 0. If you've been in for 1 week, you have a week of knowledge for someone who has 0. You have information. You have experience. I'm not saying that the only people who get to speak have to make $20,000 a day. $20,000 a month, $20,000 a year, because if I thought that, I would have never started doing videos. I would have never started to venture out. If you had to have a rank to do something, you do not have to be at a director level to make YouTube videos. You do not have to be making $10,000 or 10,000 PRV a month to be able to do a YouTube video or a reel or an Instagram post. You do not have to be making 200 in sales a month just to show your face. When you start getting seen by people, you will start to expand your circle. When you start to believe in yourself and they can see it, you are going to start to grow as a leader. People find people who they want to be like. People sign up with people who they admire. And if you're saying, well, I haven't signed up anybody, nobody wants to follow me. Have you even asked? There are people that are watching you every single day. They don't comment. They don't like your videos. They don't do it. And you know why? Because they're scared. They're scared because they think they're going to ask you a stupid question. Maybe they don't know how to go to your website. Have you posted your website link? Maybe they don't know which wax to buy because they don't know what wax you have to sell. Are you posting about the wax in a sense? Maybe they thought they saw at one point in time that there was cleaning products, but they haven't seen it since. Do you still have cleaning products? People don't ask questions because they don't want to feel stupid. They don't want to feel like, I should have already known that. Ask your customers questions. Open up the line of communication. Make a text message, a Facebook message, a phone call. Make a priority to your customers to have a conversation. It's not a, hey girl, hey, you want to buy some Scentsy? It's a, how are you doing today? How's the new job going? How's the baby going? I'm so sorry to hear about your grandmother. I'm so sorry that you lost your job. You know, it doesn't have to be, do you want to sign up for Scentsy? We have to get out of our own ways. We have to learn that our customers are not going to find us. They're not going to find you. Guys, you post one time on your Facebook page and say, I'm a Scentsy consultant. They are not going to find you. They're not. You've got to find your customers. You've got to talk to people. And you don't have to see them face to face. It doesn't matter how big or little your town is. It doesn't matter how big or little your community is. There is a whole internet that is free to reach out to people. But you need to find your people. You need to look for your people. And the only way they're going to know that they're your people is if they start to see you. They start to see how you act, how you are with your kids, how you are with your puppies, how you are with your family, how you are in life. You've got to start doing that. You've got to stop telling yourself you're not good enough. You've got to start looking. You've got to start breaking the pattern that you've been stuck in. Guys, lie to yourself. Cheat, steal, and kill it. Because we got this. We have everything we need. We just got to do it.